We have some interesting injury news for the New York Knicks about Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby. The Knicks unfortunately lost to the Boston Celtics last night. They were right there in the third quarter after that Mikal Bridges three-pointer, and the Garden crowd was back. The Knicks made a comeback, and then all of a sudden, Boston and Jason Tatum took over the game, and the Boston Celtics killed us, and that was very unfortunate last night. But the good news is OG Anunoby is nearing his return, and Mitchell Robinson is nearing his return, which is going to be a big-time upgrade for this New York Knicks team. As we saw at the trade deadline, the New York Knicks kept Mitchell Robinson. We shipped away Jericho Sims, and I'm excited to break it all down in this video. This video is being powered by BetUS, and if you guys did not know, I have been on the road these last 2 weeks, so I haven't really been able to make a lot of Knicks content. I was actually in New Orleans covering the Super Bowl for my media company, Roundtable Sports, but the good news is I'm back home in New York, and you guys can expect Knicks content more than you've ever seen here on Knicks Media, so make sure you guys subscribe and hit this like button because I'm so excited to get back into the grind here on Knicks Media, because these last 2 weeks for me personally, I'm like, wow, the first time I'm on the road covering the Senior Bowl and the Super Bowl, that's when the Knicks are going crazy and getting all these wins, and I'm like, I gotta figure out a time to make some videos, but now I'm home. And I'm really excited to get deeper into Knicks content here on the channel. So let's hear from Shams from ESPN. He's the one that reported the official news and the official update on our guys, Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby. So take a listen in.
Mitchell Robinson, their starting center, he has been out all season. He had off-season foot surgery. He is expected to start 5-on-5 play here very soon. And I'm told he and the Knicks have a goal of before March 1, potentially his season debut. And then OG Anunoby on the other side, he has been out since last Saturday with a foot injury. I'm told specifically it is a toe issue, and he's targeting a return at some point after the All-Star break. This is the Knicks and Anunoby looking at the calendar, seeing how close we are right now to the All-Star break, and seeing how they can use this time smartly and wisely. As far as my understanding is, it's more of an irritating injury, not something that's structurally wrong or serious. So look for OG Anunoby to be back sometime after the All-Star break.
Shams, thank you, and some good news here for New York.
All right, so you heard it from Shams himself. That's some pretty good news. Number one, the first thing I noticed about OG Anunoby, it's not a foot injury, it's a toe issue, and it's nothing structurally wrong with the foot and the toe. It's more of an irritation. And somebody else said, I think on the broadcast last night, that if OG wanted to, he could have played last night, but the Knicks are being, safe. They don't want to push OG out there. They're, looking at the schedule. They see the All-Star break right around the corner. Let him heal. Let OG come back. And you can definitely feel the absence of OG Anunoby, by the way, against the Boston Celtics. There was nobody guarding Jason Tatum. I mean, you saw Jason Tatum go to the cup at will, dunk on us whenever he wanted to. We also missed the presence of Mitchell Robinson. I know Robinson has not been healthy all season, but there was no rim protection last night against Boston. So the idea of OG and Mitch coming back is going to be a really fun thing to see. So good news on OG. I can speak on behalf of Knicks fans. When we saw OG go down with a non-contact injury against the Lakers last week and him limping to the locker room, oh my God, it was just flashes of, I was at the game last year against the Pacers in the playoffs when he tore or, tweaked his hamstring. I'm like, oh, there goes our chances, because OG really is the key to this Knicks success. There's a lot of keys, but he is a big-time reason for that. But speaking of Mitchell Robinson, Shams said that, he's nearing a March 1st return, which is, at the end of this month, of course. He's going to be having 5-on-5 contact at practice, and this is such a good thing, man. There's so many people talking about Mitchell Robinson potentially getting traded, and I couldn't disagree more. I do not want him traded. I think it's so worth the risk of going into the rest of the season with Mitchell Robinson rolling the dice of his health, because when he's on the court, it changes everything with this New York Knicks team. So the fact that he's nearing his return is going to be awesome. And the fact that Ariel Hook-Porty is now, filling in for Jericho Sims' role, I love what Ariel Hook-Porty has brought. Very limited minutes, of course. We have Karl Anthony Towns or Precious Achiuwa, but the Mitchell Robinson addition is going to change everything defensively, change everything from the rebounding perspective, the, hustling up and down the court. And I also don't know the type of Mitchell Robinson we're going to get. Apparently, he's a little bit more slimmed down than he was last year, and he's the neutralizer of a guy like Joel Embiid last year in the playoffs. 2 years ago, he was able to neutralize Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley down low in the postseason. So Mitchell Robinson is arguably one of the most important pieces to this Knicks team that we have not even seen yet this year. So I'm excited about that, and you guys should be too. I wanted to give a big shout-out to BetUS, as always. They are the proud sportsbook sponsor of Knicks Media all season long. Make sure you guys use the code YouTube150 when you sign up today, and you get a 150% bonus on your first deposit and a 125% on your next two sign-up bonuses. That's up to $2,000. Make sure you guys go check out their website. They have awesome Knicks player prop bets. They got futures. You guys can do everything you need to do. Jalen Brunson's in the three-point contest. I'm really curious to see what his odds are to win that the three-point contest. So big-time shout-out to BetUS. Knicks media is being powered by BetUS all season long. And I feel like last night's game against Boston really showed you that we're missing, like I said at the top of this video, the presence defensively of OG, the presence defensively of Mitch. But I feel like some Knicks fans are going to start hitting the panic button. If there's one thing I've learned about Knicks Nation, it's when we have a bad loss, the whole world's crumbling. When we're winning, we're on top of the world. And stay even keel here, man, because it does feel like Boston's got the better of us these last, the first game of the season where they just did not miss from three. Last night, we clawed our way back, and then they just completely went crazy, and we weren't able to keep up. And I don't want to use OG injury as an excuse because Boston did not have Drew Holiday. They didn't have Kristaps, so there's no excuse at all. This Knicks team has to use that as fuel. They have to use that as motivation because if you got to be the best, you got to beat the best. And the Knicks are looking up at Boston, a chance to steal the second seed. If they beat them last night, we would have had a half game behind them in the standings, and now we're 2.5 games behind them. So that was a critical loss by the New York Knicks. A lot of basketball left to be played for the rest of the season. I'm not going to hit the panic button yet, and you guys shouldn't too, because this Knicks team has been on a roll the last 2 weeks, man. I mean, how many games have we won in the last 10, right? I feel like the Knicks have been beating up on really good teams. That loss against LA last week was unfortunate, and now we have another bad loss in primetime. You talk about the two biggest games of the season from a primetime perspective, both Saturday night at home, Madison Square Garden, all the celebrities are sitting courtside, and we lose both of them. Doesn't feel good, but the one thing I've learned about this Knicks team is they deal with adversity. They take these games as an opportunity for growth, and I feel like the addition of OG Anunoby and the addition of Mitchell Robinson coming back is only going to help this team out, and I feel like their approach to the deadline was very intriguing to me, shipping away Jericho Sims, and I feel like the addition of Mitch and OG with the Jalen Brunson is back to his MVP ways. And the one thing I'm a little concerned about that every Knicks fan is concerned about is Karl-Anthony Towns. You look at his numbers since he hurt his thumb, he's not been the same. I mean, the guy has been killing it since he came to the Knicks, shooting like 45% from three, averaging 25 plus. But now you look at his numbers in the 9 games since that injury, he's not played the same type of basketball. And I really hope that that thumb can get healed because we need Karl-Anthony Towns to be playing back to that star level talent if we want to go far in the NBA playoffs. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully Mikal Bridges can get a little bit better and more efficient from an offensive standpoint, especially when OG's down. You need someone like Bridges to step up defensively and offensively. And the fact that the Knicks fought back and clawed their way back after coming into a big hole last night, and then they fought back and you felt like it was going to be a close game, and then the Celtics just completely, I mean, Jason Tatum and White, it just felt like there was no answer. It really was. And defensively, I think was the big issue last night more than anything. And then the Boston Celtics defense against the Knicks offense, protecting the rim, forcing Josh Hart to have contested layup after contested layup. It was frustrating to watch, man. So that's my thoughts of this video. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Shout out to BetUS for powering this show as always. And I'm super excited to hunt down and bring you guys more Knicks content now that I'm officially back home in New York and I'm not traveling anymore on behalf of Roundtable Sports. So I'll see you guys next time. Much love to you all, and let's go Knicks. Keep your heads up high because we're going to do something special in the playoffs. I promise you that. Peace out, folks.